Chapter 91. Fire Golem. The fire golem's molten form shudders, its eyes blazing brighter as it summons its ultimate power. The temperature in the chamber skyrockets, and the air ripples with intense heat. With a guttural roar, the golem unleashes its Tier 5 skill. Inferno Cataclysm. A massive wave of searing flames erupts from the golem, expanding rapidly in all directions. The very stone beneath their feet begins to crack and sizzle under the onslaught. Grix's eyes widen as he recognizes the imminent danger. Without hesitation, he steps in front of Burko, planting his feet firmly. Drawing upon his inner reserves, Grix activates his sole Tier 5 skill. Ironclad Barrier. An immense, translucent shield materializes before them, anchoring into the ground and curving protectively around their forms. The inferno crashes against Grix's shield, flames licking and swirling around its edges. Behind him, Burko watches in awe and terror, the heat palpable even through the protective shield. Meanwhile, Alex stands his ground, eyes narrowing as the fiery wave approaches. He raises his sword, channeling his energy into two defensive Tier 4 skills. Infernal Barrier. He commands, and a shimmering barrier of golden flames envelopes him, countering the oncoming heat with its own purifying fire. Simultaneously, Alex stomps the ground, invoking Earth's Embrace. The earth responds, forming a protective cocoon of stone around him. The inferno crashes over this dual-layered defense, the outer flames warring against each other, while the stone absorbs the residual heat. After what feels like an eternity, the Inferno Cataclysm subsides. The chamber is left scorched and smoldering, the air thick with heat and ash. Grix's shield dissipates. The stone encasing Alex crumbles away, revealing him unscathed. He steps forward, eyes locked onto the now weakened golem. Impressive display, Alex remarks, his tone calm yet firm. But it's time to end this. Channeling his remaining strength, Alex dashes toward the golem, his sword gleaming with accumulated power. With a swift, decisive strike, he cleaves through the golem's core. The creature shudders, its molten form destabilizing before collapsing into a pool of inert lava. As the remnants of the fire golem dissipate, the chamber's oppressive heat begins to wane. Burko stands in stunned silence, his mind racing. The sheer number of Tier 4 skills His Majesty just employed. He muses, could it be that His Majesty possesses more Tier 4 skills than any of the three kingdoms? A chilling thought crosses Burko's mind. If the extent of His Majesty's prowess becomes known, the three kingdoms might set aside their differences, forming a temporary alliance to challenge him. Burko steps forward, his voice filled with awe. Your Majesty, you're truly remarkable. Defeating a Tier 5 golem while at Tier 4 strength is nothing short of extraordinary. Alex chuckles softly, sheathing his sword. That golem was already losing energy and not at its full strength. Its power had waned over time. Grix approaches, his expression a blend of respect and curiosity. Even so, Your Majesty, your mastery and the seamless execution of multiple Tier 4 skills are unparalleled. Few could replicate such a feat. As the fire golem collapses into a pool of molten rock, the chamber begins to tremble violently. Dust and debris fall from the ceiling, and the walls crack ominously. Your Majesty, the structure is collapsing. Grix shouts, urgency in his voice. Alex's gaze shifts to the golem's remains. Amidst the cooling lava, he spots a faint glimmer. Quickly, he retrieves a scorched tome, a skill book, and the golem's core, still pulsing with residual heat. These might be of use, Alex mutters, securing the items. Your Majesty, we must leave now, Burko exclaims, eyes wide with alarm. Alex nods, his expression calm yet determined. Agreed. Let's move. The trio dashes toward the exit, navigating falling stones and widening fissures. The ground shakes beneath them, each tremor more violent than the last. As the trio emerges from the collapsing chamber, the ground beneath them quakes violently. They turn to witness the war god's altar sinking into the earth, swallowed whole until it vanishes without a trace, as if it never existed. Alex retrieves the scorched tome he had secured earlier. Flipping through its charred pages, he recognizes it as a Tier 5 skill book. A sigh escapes his lips. "It's a Tier 5 skill book," he mutters, his tone tinged with mild disappointment. Burko notices Alex's reaction and inquires, "Your Majesty, is something amiss?" Alex extends the book toward Burko. "Here, take it. It's a Tier 5 skill book." Burko's eyes widen in shock. He instinctively steps back, shaking his head. "Your Majesty, I can't accept this. It's too valuable, and I contributed nothing to this battle." Alex's gaze is steady, his voice firm yet understanding. "Nonsense. Take it. I suspect this skill aligns with the Tier 1 you acquired earlier. It will complement your abilities." Burko hesitates, but seeing the resolve in Alex's eyes, he reluctantly accepts the tome. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I am deeply grateful." Alex offers a dismissive wave. "Think nothing of it. It's merely a Tier 5 skill book." Burko forces a smile, though internally he grapples with the weight of the gift. In the Three Kingdoms, such a skill book is a priceless treasure, unobtainable even how much gold coins you have. Yet, to His Majesty it appears as a trivial item. Reflecting on his own stagnation in recent times, Burko feels a surge of hope. With this skill book, he envisions breaking through his current limits, advancing his prowess to new heights. In this world, natives like Burko must diligently study skill books to ascend in power. Mere physical training isn't sufficient. A profound comprehension of the skill's elemental nature is essential. For instance, a mage specializing in fire magic must deeply understand the fire element to truly master their craft. Each skill book embodies a specific element, guiding the practitioner's focus. Consequently, most individuals dedicate themselves to a singular specialty. Alex, however, is an anomaly. As a player, he possesses the unique ability to wield any skill or spell, unrestricted by elemental constraints. This versatility is largely attributed to his unconventional build. Chapter 92. The Unknown Abyss. Grix, observing the exchange, comments, "Your Majesty's generosity knows no bounds. Burko, with this new skill, I'm certain you'll reach unprecedented levels." Burko nods, determination gleaming in his eyes. "I won't squander this opportunity. I'll strive to become a warrior worthy of standing by His Majesty's side." Alex strides into the bustling Adventurers Guild of Sumbrast City, the air thick with the hum of conversations and the clinking of armor. His alias, Aiden, has gained recognition among the adventurers over the past few days. Approaching the quest board, he scans the parchments for new challenges. The attendant, noticing Alex's interest, steps forward. "Morning, Aiden. Looking for work?" Alex nods, his eyes still on the board. "Yes. Anything notable today?" the attendant said. "Well, there's talk of a significant quest coming up. The Ordea Kingdom is preparing to call upon all capable adventurers to combat beasts emerging from the northern crevice. It's a massive undertaking, happens every 3 months or so." Alex's interest peaks, though he maintains a casual demeanor. "Sounds challenging. Any idea when this quest will be posted?" "Should be any day now," the attendant replies. "Keep an eye out. The rewards are substantial, but the dangers are equally great." Alex offers a grateful nod. "Thanks for the heads up. I'll be ready." Over the next few days, Alex continues to accept smaller quests, building his reputation and awaiting the announcement. Then, one morning, the guild hall buzzes with heightened activity. A large notice adorns the central board, bearing the royal seal of Ordea. The guild master addresses the gathered adventurers. "Attention! The Ordea Kingdom officially requests aid to repel the beasts from the northern crevice. All willing and able adventurers are urged to participate. Sign-ups begin immediately." Alex steps forward, determination in his eyes. "Count me in." The guild master nods approvingly. "Good to have you, Aiden. May fortune favor you in the battles ahead." As Alex signs his name, he reflects on his true purpose in Ordea. Alex, Grix, and Burko approaches the northern crevice, a gaping chasm that seems to breathe malevolence. Around them, adventurers mill about, some nodding in acknowledgement, while others, particularly the Tier 4 elites, barely spare them a glance. Burko observes the dismissive attitudes and murmurs. Seems our fellow gold rank aren't too impressed, huh? Alex's gaze remains fixed on the crevice, its depths obscured by darkness. This fissure, it's like a gateway to the abyss. A nearby gold rank adventurer, overhearing, interjects, Aiden, right? First time at the crevice. Alex nods, turning to face the speaker. Yes. The adventurer, a seasoned warrior by the looks of his scarred armor, offers a grim smile. Be prepared. The beasts here are relentless. Burko steps forward, curiosity evident. Do we know why the beasts keep emerging? The warrior shakes his head. No one knows for sure. Grix frowns. Has anyone attempted to explore its depths? A few have tried, the warrior replies, but none returned. Alex's eyes narrow thoughtfully. Perhaps it's time someone did. The warrior chuckles, though there's no humor in it. If you're that eager, be my guest. As the adventurers gather near the ominous northern crevice, a palpable tension fills the air. Conversations hush abruptly as a figure descends from above, hovering with an aura of authority. It's Marshal Medrin, the sole marshal of the Ordea Kingdom and a renowned Tier 5 warrior. His presence commands immediate respect, and silence envelopes the assembly. Marshal Medrin's voice resonates powerfully across the field. As always, our mission is straightforward. Eliminate every beast that emerges from this crevice. All loot obtained is yours to keep, and the kingdom offers to purchase any spoils you wish to sell. I will remain here to confront any Tier 5 beasts that may appear. Good luck to all. Alex, under his alias Aiden, discreetly activates his system to assess Medrin's capabilities. The display reveals. Name, Medrin. Level, 543. Tier 5 warrior. Impressed by Medrin's formidable level, Alex murmurs to himself, Level 543, quite the powerhouse. As the adventurers brace themselves near the northern crevice, an oppressive aura suddenly emanates from its depths, sending a shiver through the ranks. Even Alex's expression hardens momentarily before the sensation dissipates as swiftly as it arose. Without warning, a horde of beasts surges from the chasm, their roars echoing across the battlefield. Alex, Grix, and Burko engage the oncoming creatures with practiced efficiency, each movement precise and controlled. Under Alex's directive, they conserve their strength, dispatching foes methodically without overexertion. As they fight, the trio gradually advances toward the crevice's edge, their calculated progression drawing the attention of nearby gold-ranked adventurers. Misinterpreting their approach as reckless bravado, some observers exchange disdainful glances, perceiving Alex's group as showboating. A burly swordsman sneers. Look at them, acting like they're invincible. A mage beside him scoffs. They'll get themselves killed showing off like that. Suddenly the intensity of the beast onslaught surges. Adventurers find themselves fully engaged, battling fiercely to hold the line. Amidst the chaos, Alex senses an opportunity. Grix, Burko, close in. Alex commands, his voice cutting through the clamor. The two comply without hesitation, forming up beside him. From within his cloak, Alex produces a small, intricately carved stone, a rare item known as the Veilstone. This powerful item grants temporary invisibility, rendering the user undetectable even to beings of Tier 6. Hold still, Alex instructs, activating the Veilstone. A soft hum resonates as a translucent shimmer envelopes the trio before fading, leaving them invisible to all around. Incredible, Burko whispers, marveling at the effect. Stay focused, Grix murmurs. We have a mission. Under the cloak of invisibility, they maneuver through the battlefield, deftly avoiding clashes and slipping past occupied adventurers. The sounds of combat, clashing steel, roaring beasts, and shouted commands, create a chaotic symphony that masks their movements. As they approach the crevice's edge, the ground trembles beneath their feet, and a noxious heat emanates from the abyss. Peering into the darkness, Alex signals for them to proceed. One by one, they descend into the unknown, leaving the tumultuous battle above as they venture into the depths of the crevice. Chapter 93, Astral Bloom. As Alex, Grix, and Burko descend into the crevice, the tumultuous sounds of battle above fade, replaced by an eerie silence. Their invisibility cloaks them in a veil of undetectability, allowing them to observe without interference. The walls of the crevice, jagged and foreboding, give way to a surprising sight. A vast subterranean expanse stretches before them, illuminated by bioluminescent flora casting a soft, ethereal glow. Towering trees with luminescent leaves. The landscape, their roots intertwining with the cracked, barren ground. The air is thick with humidity, and the distant calls of unseen creatures echo through the cavern. Despite the alien environment, the trio recognizes familiar beasts scaling the walls toward the surface, confirming they are still within the same crevice. Burko's eyes widen in awe. This place, it's like an entirely different world hidden beneath our feet. Grix nods, his gaze scanning the surroundings warily. Yet it's unsettling. We've encountered no Tier 5 beasts so far. Alex, ever observant, remarks, perhaps they dwell deeper within, or this area serves a different purpose. They proceed cautiously, their footsteps silent against the uneven terrain. The beasts, oblivious to their presence due to the Veilstone's power, move with singular purpose toward the surface, paying no heed to the intruders. As they venture deeper into the subterranean expanse, Alex, Grix, and Burko encounter a formidable Tier 5 beast. A massive, armored creature with eyes gleaming like molten lava. The surrounding area is eerily devoid of other beasts, suggesting this guardian's dominance. Alex narrows his eyes, observing the beast's vigilant stance. It's guarding something, he murmurs. Activating his system interface, he scans the vicinity and detects a faint, pulsating energy signature beneath the creature's position. His eyes widen in recognition. He thought, the astral bloom. In my previous life, I never managed to acquire it. Those who possessed it demanded exorbitant sums of real money. Grix tightens his grip on his weapon, his gaze fixed on the beast. Your orders, Your Majesty? Alex's expression hardens with determination. We need that astral bloom. Grix, take down the beast. Burko, support him. I'll secure the ingredient. Grix nods, a fierce grin spreading across his face. Understood. He charges forward, weapon gleaming in the bioluminescent light. The beast roars, meeting his challenge head-on. Burko flanks the creature, launching precise attacks to distract and weaken it. Their coordinated assault showcases their training and camaraderie. Seizing the moment, Alex darts toward the spot where the astral bloom's energy resonates. With practiced movements, he uncovers the radiant, star-shaped flower, its petals shimmering with an otherworldly glow. He carefully extracts it, feeling a surge of accomplishment. Behind him, Grix delivers a decisive blow, and the beast collapses with a final, echoing growl. He turns to Alex, breathing heavily but victorious. The path is clear, Your Majesty. Alex secures the astral bloom within a protective casing. Well done, both of you. As they venture deeper into the subterranean expanse, Alex, Grix, and Burko encounter several Tier 5 beasts, each guarding various treasures, glimmering gemstones, ancient artifacts, and weapons. Among these, a particular Tier 5 sword catches Burko's eye. Its blade hums with latent power, and intricate runes adorn its hilt. Although Burko doesn't recognize what the astral bloom is, he knows it must be something extraordinary. After all, he's never seen His Majesty this pleased before. Alex hardly reacts to obtaining Tier 5 skills or spells, yet this flower seems to hold incredible value. Burko steps closer, watching Alex carefully seal the astral bloom in a protective case. Your Majesty, he says hesitantly, That flower, what is it exactly? Alex glances at him, still smiling. The final ingredient. Ingredient. Berko frowns. For what? For something powerful. Alex replies vaguely. You'll see soon enough. Berko doesn't press further. If Alex isn't explaining, there's a reason. Whatever that flower's purpose, it's clearly far more valuable than any skill or treasure they've found before. As they continue exploring, they encounter more Tier 5 beasts, powerful, relentless creatures. Each one fiercely guards a treasure or rare artifact. Despite the variety of valuables they recover, none seem to excite Alex like the astral bloom. However, one particular discovery stuns Berko. A Tier 5 sword, its polished silver blade lined with intricate golden runes. The weapon hums faintly with magical energy, its aura both oppressive and awe-inspiring. Berko stares at it in disbelief. He swallows hard. There's no more than one Tier 5 sword in the entire Ordea kingdom. Alex steps forward, picks up the sword, and without hesitation, turns to Berko. It's yours. Berko freezes. Wait, what? You heard me? Alex says casually, tossing the sword to him. Take it. Berko barely catches it, feeling the weight of the weapon in his hands. But, this sword, this is priceless. Alex shrugs. I've already found what I needed. That sword will serve you better than it will me. Alex continue. I'm not giving it away. Alex says firmly. I'm investing in my people, in you. You've earned it. Berko grips the sword tightly, still stunned. I won't waste this, he says, voice filled with conviction. I'll make sure this sword is put to good use. As Alex, Grix, and Berko navigate the labyrinthine passages of the subterranean expanse, the ambient glow of bioluminescent flora casts shifting shadows along the walls. The air is thick with moisture, and the distant drip of water echoes through the place. Suddenly, without warning, dark figures emerge from the shadows, moving with lethal grace. These are the Umbral Stalkers, a race renowned for their assassination skills. Standing at about 6 feet tall, their humanoid forms are cloaked in dark, chitinous exoskeletons that absorb light, rendering them nearly invisible in dim environments. Their elongated limbs end in razor-sharp claws, and their faces are devoid of eyes, replaced by a series of sensory pits that detect heat and movement. The Umbral Stalkers launch their assault, aiming for vital points with precision. Despite their Tier 4 status, their coordinated attack poses a significant threat. Grix reacts swiftly, his Tier 5 prowess evident as he parries and counters with formidable strength. Chapter 94, Umbral Race. Berko, wielding his newly acquired Tier 5 sword, matches Grix's movements, the blade slicing through the air with lethal accuracy. Alex, maintaining composure, channels protective wards to shield his comrades from the onslaught. Amidst the clash, Grix identifies the leader of the assailants, a slightly larger Umbral Stalker issuing silent commands. With a decisive maneuver, Grix disarms and subdues the leader, pinning it to the ground. Hold still, Grix growls, tightening his grip. The remaining Umbral Stalkers, witnessing their leader's capture, retreat into the shadows, their forms melding seamlessly with the darkness. Alex approaches the captive, his eyes narrowing. We mean you no harm unless provoked. Why did you attack us? The creature's voice hisses through the magical translation. Intruders, in our domain, must be eliminated. Alex steps forward, his gaze cold and calculating. Tell me where your people reside, he demands. Cooperate, and I may spare your life. The Umbral Stalker hisses defiantly, its voice a raspy whisper. Kill me if you must. I will reveal nothing. Instead of anger, a thoughtful expression crosses Alex's face. Very well, he says calmly. We will explore this place until we find your base. Perhaps then, your kin will be more forthcoming. The creature's defiance wavers for a moment, but it remains silent, unwilling to betray its kind. Grix tightens his grip on the captive. What shall we do with this one, your majesty? Alex considers briefly before responding. Bind him, He may prove useful as a guide or a bargaining chip. Burko produces restraints, securing the umbral stalker's limbs. The creature offers no resistance, its expression inscrutable. With their new captive in tow, the trio continues their journey, determined to uncover the secrets of the umbral stalker's domain. Alex, Grix, and Burko continue their cautious exploration of the subterranean expanse. Suddenly, without warning, two massive figures emerge from the shadows ahead, standing over 8 feet tall. Recognizing them as Tier 5 umbral stalkers, Alex and Grix ready their weapons, while Burko positions himself protectively near their captive. Alex's mind races as he begins to channel his 11 Tier 4 buffs, knowing he cannot face a Tier 5 opponent without them. However, his adversary lunges with blinding speed, forcing Alex to prioritize defense. He manages to activate 8 buffs before narrowly evading a sweeping claw strike. Rolling to the side, he completes the remaining enchantments, feeling the surge of augmented strength and agility course through him. The umbral stalker hisses, its eyeless visage turning toward Alex. "Your skills won't save you, trash." It snarls, voice dripping with malice. Alex grips his weapon tighter, eyes narrowing. "We'll see about that." The creature attacks again, its claws slicing through the air with lethal precision. Alex parries and counters. Despite the stalker's ferocity, Alex's enhanced abilities allow him to match its speed and strength. Meanwhile, Grix engages the second umbral stalker, their battle a blur of steel and shadow. His combat prowess is evident as he anticipates and counters each move with calculated efficiency. The umbral stalker lunges, a blur of blackened muscle and jagged claws. Alex sidesteps, his blade flashing upward to deflect the strike. Sparks explode from the impact. Without hesitation, Alex channels a Tier 4 spell, Pyre Lance. A spear of searing flame erupts from his free hand, streaking toward the creature's chest. The stalker twists impossibly fast, avoiding a fatal hit, but the flame scorches its side. It roars, dark tendrils of energy crackling from its wounds. "You think that's enough?" The stalker sneers, its guttural voice distorted. "I'll crush you. Try." Alex growls back, dashing forward. He weaves between the stalker's swiping claws, his blade dancing with precision. Each strike he lands crackles with enchantment. Ice blooms along the creature's arm where Alex cuts, only to shatter as the stalker's unnatural energy pulses outward. "Quit running!" The stalker's patience snaps, and it lunges again, claws poised to tear through Alex's chest. Tier 4 skill Mirage Step. Alex flickers out of view, appearing behind his enemy in a flash of blue energy. He drives his sword deep into the stalker's back. The creature howls, spinning wildly with unnatural reflexes. Alex's sword is wrenched from his grip, still buried in its spine. "Persistent little insect!" The stalker snarls, black energy flaring from its claws as it swings for Alex's head. Tier 4 skill Arcane Bastion. Alex instinctively throws up a shimmering blue barrier. The stalker's claws slam into it, sending a shockwave of force rippling through the air. The barrier holds, barely, flickering as cracks spiderweb across its surface. "This isn't enough." Alex grimaces, stepping back. His Tier 4 skills are chipping away at the creature, but not enough to deliver a decisive blow. He knows he needs more power, something stronger. Drawing in a deep breath, Alex focuses his energy, recalling the technique he had only practiced against training dummies. He channels magic through his core, weaving 2 distinct energies together, fire and wind. The 2 Tier 4 spells resist one another at first, the raw forces threatening to spiral out of control. Sparks crackle at his fingertips as the unstable magic surges. Alex grits his teeth, feeling his magic surge as he recalls the combination he had only tested on training dummies. Tier 4 spell Pyre Lance. Tier 4 skill Gale Thrust. He channels both simultaneously. The searing flames of Pyre Lance flicker to life in his left hand, while his right hand directs Gale Thrust, a concentrated burst of compressed wind that can accelerate objects with immense force. The 2 energies ripple dangerously as he forces them to intertwine, Not a fusion, but a combined assault. The umbral stalker lunges, claws dark with crackling energy. Try dodging this, Alex snarls. He fires the pyre lance forward, but instead of hurling it with his arm, he channels gale thrust behind it. The sudden force amplifies the speed of the fiery spear, turning it into a blazing projectile that rockets through the air like a flaming missile. The compressed wind surrounds the lance, feeding the fire and stretching the flames into a spiraling inferno. Chapter 95, Grell and Tarvin. The stalker barely has time to react. It sidesteps, but the enhanced speed catches it mid-motion. The blazing spear punches through its side, searing flesh and igniting black ichor in a flash of crackling embers. The stalker howls as flames erupt along its torso, licking up its arm and chest. You! It snarls, staggering back. Alex doesn't hesitate. With both Tier 5 umbral stalkers weakened, this is his chance. He reaches into his satchel and pulls out a dark metal bracer etched with glowing crimson runes, the shacklebind cuff. The runes pulse faintly, eager to activate. Grix! Alex shouts, tossing the bracer toward him. Pin yours down now. Grix, locked in a brutal exchange with his opponent, risks a glance at the flying object. With a grunt, he slams his great sword into the stalker's shoulder, staggering it long enough to snatch the bracer from the air. Yes, your majesty! Grix roars, forcing his opponent to the ground with sheer brute strength. Alex turns to his own foe, the charred and battered stalker, still smoldering from the enhanced pyre lance. His breathing is ragged, but its hatred burns stronger than ever. You'll regret this. The creature snarls, rising unsteadily. I doubt it. Alex dashes forward, slamming his palm against the stalker's chest. The bracer in his own hand latches onto the creature's torso, the crimson runes flaring to life. The stalker's body jerks violently as the shacklebind cuff constricts around its form. Glowing chains of red energy coil tightly around the beast's limbs, forcing it to its knees. The creature thrashes, but the magic suppresses its strength, a power designed specifically to subdue weakened Tier 5 entities. On the other side of the battlefield, Grix roars as he drives the second bracer against his opponent's neck. The same crimson chains burst forth, snapping around the creature's arms and torso, binding it in place. Both stalkers writhe, snarling and cursing in their guttural tongue. Their burning glares fixate on Alex. The umbral stalker bound near Burko stares in disbelief, its gaze flicking back and forth between the two subdued figures, the strongest warriors of their tribe, now shackled and kneeling in chains of glowing crimson. No, no, that's impossible. The stalker mutters, voice trembling. You can't be bound. Lords Tarvin and Grell. Its voice rises, sharp with desperation. Lords Tarvin. Lord Grell. It calls out, straining against its restraints. Fight it. Break free. The stalker's plea echoes through the cavern, panic seeping into its words. You're the unyielding, the lords of umbral race. No magic should. Silence. Tarvin, bound before Alex, snarls. His charred form trembles under the weight of the shacklebind cuff, but his defiant gaze burns fiercely. Alex steps forward, eyes cold as steel. You're not breaking free, he says flatly. This isn't a spell you can shatter with brute force. Those cuffs suppress your core. Your power is nothing more than flickering embers right now. The stalker near Burko glares at Alex, fangs bared. You think this will hold them forever? It won't have to, Alex replies, calm yet firm. They'll either see reason, or I'll kill them when the time comes. Empty words, Tarvin sneers. When my strength returns, I'll rip out your spine and hang it from the great thorn. I suggest you focus on surviving first, Alex retorts. His gaze shifts to the stalker captive by Burko. You, what's your name? The creature stiffens, glaring warily at him. I am Viren. Well, Viren, Alex says coldly. If you care about your tribe, you'd better convince your lords to start listening. Because if they don't, his gaze flickers back to the two bound Tier 5 stalkers. I'll have no use for them. The tension hangs heavy in the twisted forest. An endless sprawl of dark, gnarled trees whose branches coil like skeletal fingers. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying wood. Faint whispers seem to drift from the shadows, a constant reminder that the umbral stalkers are never far away. Grell, still bound in glowing crimson chains, exhales deeply, his chest rising and falling with slow, controlled breaths. He speaks, his tone calm yet firm. "Why?" Grell asks, his hollow eyes narrowing on Alex. "Why did you spare our lives?" Alex, standing just a few steps away, meets his gaze. The flickering crimson runes from the shackle-bind cuffs cast a faint glow across his face. "Because I like your race," Alex says plainly. "I have a kingdom on the surface, and I want your people to work under me." Grell's brow furrows slightly. "Work under you?" His voice carries neither anger nor disbelief, just quiet skepticism. "You believe the umbral will bend so easily?" "I believe your people are strong," Alex replies steadily. "I've seen it for myself. Strength like that has value if given the right purpose. I can offer your tribe resources, protection, and power far greater than what you've scraped together here." "Power?" Tarvin snarls from his kneeling position, still struggling against the chains. His voice is a venomous growl. "You think your scraps can tempt us?" His burning gaze turns to Grell. "Don't listen to this fool. The umbral bow to no one. You might want to reconsider," Alex says coldly. "If I wanted you dead, you'd already be rotting in this cursed forest. Instead, I'm offering you a future. Your arrogance will get you killed," Tarvin spits. "And your pride will get your tribe slaughtered." Alex snaps back. The sharpness in his tone makes Grell's gaze linger on him. There's no desperation in Alex's voice, only certainty. The silence stretches until Grell speaks again. "If we refuse?" Grell asks quietly. "Then I'll destroy you," Alex says bluntly. "Your warriors, your elders, your strongholds, everything. I won't waste words twice." Viren, still kneeling beside Burko, stares at Alex in stunned silence. The sheer confidence behind Alex's threat leaves no room for doubt. Alex lets the silence hang for a moment before speaking again. "Okay, I will not threaten you all. Instead, I have something here that will probably change your minds," he says, his voice calm but firm. Chapter 96. Grell and Tarvin submit. Without another word, Alex reaches into his satchel and retrieves 3 books, each one radiating a faint, golden aura. The air around them seems to ripple, as if the power within threatens to spill out. The covers are marked with intricate glyphs, each one far more complex than the Tier 4 or Tier 5 markings the Umbral have ever seen. The moment the books are revealed, Grell's eyes widen, his usual calm shattering. Even Tarvin, still seething minutes ago, freezes in place, his gaze locked on the books. "A Tier 6 skill book," Grell mutters in disbelief. 3 Tier 6 skill books, Tarvin corrects, his voice quieter than anyone expects. His earlier rage is gone, replaced by something far more dangerous, hunger. Even Burko, still standing to Alex's side, struggles to hide his shock. His Majesty really does have them, Burko thinks, his mind racing. 3 Tier 6 skill books. Impossible. In all 3 kingdoms, not once has a Tier 6 skill book been seen, only rumors whispered about in awe. Yet here they are, tangible and undeniable, resting in Alex's hands. Viren swallows hard, his eyes flicking from the books to Alex. Even the air feels heavier now, as if the power radiating from those pages is pressing down on him. "The Umbral," Grell murmurs, still fixated on the glowing texts. "Our people, we will never reach Tier 6 because our growth stalls at Tier 4 without the Tier 5 skill books," Tarvin says firmly. "Even reaching Tier 5 is rare, and only 2 of us have managed it." Alex's gaze sharpens as he glances between Tarvin and Grell. "I'm offering you a chance to change that." For once, Tarvin doesn't sneer. His expression hardens, but his eyes betray his desire. "You're saying, You'll give us those books? Grell asks slowly, his voice cautious. Not for free, Alex replies. Serve me properly, and you'll earn them. He lifts one of the books slightly. I don't hand out power to anyone who doesn't deserve it. Stare at the glowing tomes like starving wolves eyeing fresh meat. Even Tarvan's pride seems to waver beneath the weight of what's being offered. Think carefully, Alex warns, voice low and commanding. This isn't charity, it's opportunity. And if you refuse... He pauses, gaze cold. I'll find someone else to replace you. A long, tense silence follows. Tarvan's breathing is heavy, his muscles still straining against the glowing chains. Grell's gaze flickers back and forth between Alex and the books, conflict clear in his eyes. Even now, the stubborn pride of their kind claws at him, urging him to refuse. But the hunger in their eyes betrays them, the hunger for power. Finally, Grell exhales sharply, lowering his head. I'll do it, he says, voice low yet firm. For the sake of my tribe, I will follow you. Tarvan grits his teeth, still trembling with rage. You're just going to surrender? He growls. Bow your head to some outsider? Grell's head lifts slightly, his eyes narrowing. And what would you have us do? His voice hardens. Die clinging to Pride. He gestures to the crimson chains still wrapped around Tarvan's limbs. We've already lost this fight. You know that. Tarvan's snarl falters. His pride wars with reason, but the weight of the chains and the reality of their defeat are undeniable. His gaze shifts to the books again, lingering on the faint golden glow. With a slow, deliberate breath, Tarvan lowers his head. His voice is strained, his words sharp like broken glass. I will serve you, he mutters. But know this, I follow no fool. If you prove weak, I'll kill you myself. Alex steps closer, standing over both kneeling warriors. If you think you're capable, he says coldly, you're welcome to try. The tension lingers, but both Umbral now bow their heads in submission. Swear it properly, Alex demands. Grell clenches his fists, then places his palm flat on the ground before him. I, Grell of the Umbral, swear loyalty to Alex, king of the surface. I will fight, bleed, and die under his command, so long as he holds strength worthy of our service. Tarvan grits his teeth, forcing himself to mimic the gesture. I, Tarvan of the Umbral, make the same oath. Alex stares down at them for a moment, satisfied. Good, he says. He steps back, lifting his hand. The crimson runes dim, and the glowing chains unravel from their limbs. Grell and Tarvan stagger slightly as their strength returns, but they remain kneeling. Now get up, Alex says firmly. We have work to do. Grell and Tarvan rise slowly, still feeling the lingering weight of the shacklebind cuffs. Their gazes flick briefly to the Tier 6 books before Grell clears his throat. If you're serious about this, Grell says, then you'll need to meet our chieftain. Follow us, but stay close. Our territory doesn't take kindly to outsiders. Lead the way, Alex replies. The group moves in silence for a while, winding deeper into the twisted forest. The air grows colder, the shadows thicker. The faint whispers that once drifted through the trees now seem louder, more insistent, as if the forest itself is murmuring warnings. Grell stops near a jagged outcropping of stone, its base covered in tangled roots. He kneels, pressing his palm against a seemingly ordinary patch of bark. The roots pulse faintly with dark energy before twisting aside, revealing a narrow stone passage hidden beneath. This way, Grell says, stepping through. Urko pauses beside Alex, his expression uneasy. Your Majesty, are you sure about this? They know better than to try anything, Alex replies quietly. If they don't, well, they've already seen what happens. The passage is narrow and damp, the air stale and cold. The only light comes from faint markings along the walls, crude carvings that glow with faint purple hues, like veins pulsing in stone. The deeper they go, the more twisted the markings become, spiraling and branching like spiderwebs. These wards, Alex mutters, running his fingers near one of the symbols. They're layered, protection and illusion magic combined. Grell glances back. Our tribe has had to rely on deception to survive. After all, there's a lot of powerful beasts here. Few know how to navigate these paths. Chapter 97 Zyra. The passage eventually opens into a sprawling cavern, dimly illuminated by patches of faintly glowing moss. Stone platforms rise at uneven heights, connected by rope bridges and narrow paths carved into the walls. Dozens of umbral figures move about, some sharpening weapons, others tending to fires or stacking supplies. The moment Grell and Tarvin step out into the open, the atmosphere shifts. They stop mid-conversation, their heads turning sharply. The tension in the air eases as recognition sets in. "Lord Grell," one calls out, bowing his head respectfully. "Lord Tarvin." Another greets with a fist over his chest. Several more follow suit, murmuring greetings with clear respect. Despite their rough appearance, these umbral carry themselves with discipline. Alex notices the confusion in their eyes when they glance his way. Grix and Burko. Whispers stir among them. "Who are they?" one voice murmurs. "They must be the ones who captured Captain Viren's squad," another guesses. "Careful," someone else warns. "If the lords brought them here, there's a reason." No one dares to challenge Grell or Tarvin directly, but the suspicion is clear. As they press on, Alex quietly observes the settlement. The umbral's dwellings are carved directly into the cavern walls, reinforced with bones, dark iron, and thick woven vines. Despite their primitive design, there's a sense of structure, a culture that thrives on discipline and strength. They finally reach the jagged fortress at the cavern's far end. Two guards stiffen at the sight of Alex and Burko but lower their daggers when Grell steps forward. "We're here to see the chieftain," Grell says firmly. The guards exchange uneasy glances. "She's not in the best mood," one mutters. "When is she ever?" Tarvin grunts. Alex already knows their chieftain is a woman by the time they enter, but seeing her still surprises him. She doesn't have the hardened, battle-scarred look he expected. Instead, her sharp features and piercing eyes. She is hunched over a table covered in various dried herbs, vials of thick liquid, and delicate glass instruments. Strange fumes waft in the air, mixing into an acrid, bitter scent. Her dark chitinous form is sleek, her sensory pits shifting slightly as she sorts through the collection with practiced movements. Without looking up, she speaks. "So what happened? Did you take Viren back?" Her voice is smooth but firm. Viren steps forward, lowering his head slightly. "I am back, Chief." The chieftain's hands pause over a bundle of dried roots. Slowly, she turns to face them, and the moment her gaze lands on Alex and Burko, her entire body tenses. Her sensory pits flare as she processes the sight of three strangers in her domain. The atmosphere in the chamber shifts instantly. What was once a casual inquiry becomes cold. Her voice is sharper this time. "Who are they?" Grell speaks before Alex can answer. "Outsiders, but not enemies." The chieftain's head tilts slightly, her clawed fingers tapping against the wooden table. "You brought outsiders here?" she repeats, as if testing how the words feel. "To our sanctuary." Her gaze flicks to Tarvin. "And you allowed this?" Tarvin's jaw tightens, but he doesn't look away. "We had no choice." The chieftain exhales, stepping forward. Unlike the umbrals outside, she carries no visible weapons, no armor, only a simple, tattered cloak draped over her shoulders. And yet, the weight of her presence is undeniable. She stops a few feet away from Alex, tilting her head slightly. "You don't smell like prey," she murmurs. "And you don't move like a fool." Alex meets her gaze steadily. "I wouldn't have made it here if I was either of those." A slow, deliberate silence follows. Then, unexpectedly, the chieftain chuckles. "Interesting," she says. "Tell me, outsider, what exactly do you want from the umbral?" Grell steps forward before Alex can respond, his voice steady but firm. "His Majesty wants to take all of us to his kingdom," he says. The two of us have already pledged our loyalty. The chieftain's fingers still against the table. Her sensory pits flare slightly, processing his words. Then she exhales, slow and measured. You speak as if it's already decided, she murmurs, her voice unreadable. And yet, I don't recall making that decision for my people. Tarvin crosses his arms, his posture tense but unwavering. We aren't asking for permission, Chief. We need this. The chieftain's gaze snaps to him, sharp as a blade. You presume to tell me what our people need? Grell doesn't waver. Yes. Silence settles over the room like a thick fog. The tension between them is palpable. The chieftain slowly straightens, studying them both as if seeing them for the first time. Then, she shifts her focus to Alex. And you, she says, King of the Surface, was it? Alex nods. It is. Her fingers tap against the table again. Thoughtful. You come here offering to take my people, to uproot us, to claim us under your rule. Her head tilts. And why would I allow that? Alex meets her gaze without hesitation. Because under me, you'll reach heights you've never even dreamed of. The chieftain exhales a quiet laugh, though there's no humor in it. Bold words. But power alone isn't enough to earn our loyalty. Alex smirks. Then tell me, what will? Instead of answering immediately, the chieftain studies him. Her sensory pits flare subtly, taking in more than just his words. Then, she crosses her arms. Start with your name, Surface King. Alex. His voice is steady, firm. And you? She inclines her head slightly. Zura. Alex nods as if considering something. Then he speaks again, his tone carrying a knowing edge. Aren't you already at the peak of Tier 4 as a mage? And a Tier 3 alchemist on top of that? Zyra stiffens, her sharp features betraying a flicker of surprise. Alex presses on, his gaze unwavering. Considering you managed to reach Tier 3 in alchemy entirely on your own, that's impressive. More than impressive, really. For the first time, she seems truly caught off guard. Her clawed fingers tap against the wooden surface in a slow, thoughtful rhythm. You can see that? Instead of answering, Alex lifts his hand. Suddenly, with a faint shimmer, a large, ancient-looking tome materializes in his grasp. A Tier 5 spellbook. The air around it hums with latent magic, its presence undeniable. As if that wasn't enough, another object appears. A delicate scroll, tied with dark silk. A Tier 4 alchemy recipe. Zyra's breath catches. Her sensory pits flare wide as she locks onto the items, eyes gleaming as if she's staring at the most precious treasure she's ever seen. Then, to Alex's surprise, she throws her head back and laughs. A deep, genuine sound that echoes through the chamber. Ha ha ha, Your Majesty, she says, grinning now. You didn't tell me you were this generous. She steps forward, unable to hide her excitement as she examines the spellbook from a distance. With gifts like these, you think anyone in my tribe would refuse to serve you? She looks up at him again, but this time her expression has shifted. Not just interest, but something closer to admiration. Our tribe would be honored to follow a being as strong as you. Alex thinks to himself, that was easier than I expected. Mages truly crave knowledge, and considering Zyra is also an alchemist, her reaction makes perfect sense. Zyra straightens, her entire demeanor shifting. There's no hesitation now, only determination. She steps aside and gestures toward the cavern's entrance with an unexpected level of respect. Your Majesty, allow me to properly introduce you to our people. Zyra leads Alex outside, her movements now purposeful, as if she's already embraced the change in leadership. As they step out into the main cavern, the murmurs begin. Why the chief so respectful to that stranger? What's going on? Zyra doesn't leave room for doubt. She walks forward, her voice ringing through the cavern with absolute authority. Gather everyone. Now. The Umbral don't question her. Shadows flicker as assassins dart away to spread the command. Within minutes, hundreds of figures emerge from the tunnels and dwellings, forming a massive crowd before the fortress. There are at least 1,000 Umbral here, all clad in dark armor or light, flexible garments suited for stealth. Their glowing eyes flick between Zyra and Alex, uncertain but curious. Alex observes them carefully. Half of them are assassins trained to strike from the shadows. The other half consists of elders, non-combatants, and children. But even they move with the silent grace of their kin. These people were born to be killers, yet there is discipline here, a structure. Zyra steps forward, raising a hand. Listen well, my kin. Today marks the beginning of a new future. A hush falls over the gathering. Every umbral focuses entirely on her. I have chosen to pledge myself, Grell and Tarvin, and all of you to His Majesty King Alex. Zyra declares, her voice steady and firm. He is strong, generous, and he offers us a future beyond these caves. A future of growth, power, and knowledge. A ripple of uncertainty spreads through the crowd. A few exchange glances, some nodding subtly, but others remain tense. Then one umbral steps forward. A man with sharp eyes and a scar across his cheek. His voice is steady but laced with doubt. Chief Zyra, we all respect you. No one has done more to protect us from the beasts outside, from the dangers that would wipe us out. But he hesitates for a moment before pushing on. Is it really okay to place ourselves in someone else's hands? To surrender the freedom we've fought so hard to keep? Silence follows his words. Alex chuckles, a deep, amused sound that carries through the cavern. He steps forward, every movement confident, controlled. Chapter 98. Other three races. Surrender? He repeats, shaking his head. You think I came here to take your freedom? To make you servants. His gaze sweeps across the gathered assassins, his voice firm but calm. If that's what you believe, then you don't understand what I'm offering. The murmurs die down as Alex continues. You've spent your lives in the dark, hunted, forced to kill just to survive. You're feared, but only in whispers. Feared, but never respected. You skulk in caves while the world above didn't know you exist. He gestures around the cavern. You're strong, but your strength is wasted on mere survival. Tell me, is that the future you want? A life of scraping by, hiding in the shadows until something stronger comes along and wipes you out? His words hit hard. Many of the umbral lower their heads, their hands tightening into fists. Alex steps closer, his presence almost suffocating. I don't want your submission. I want your loyalty. And in return, I will give you something no leader before me ever has. A future. His voice grows sharper. I will take you out of these caves and raise you to heights no assassin has ever reached. Under my banner, you won't just be killers in the dark. You will be shadows of the Empire, feared and respected by all who dare to stand in our way. He lets the words sink in, then lifts his hand once more. More books materialize, Tier 4 and Tier 5 assassin techniques, the kind of power that could elevate even the weakest among them. A collective breath is drawn in. I will make you stronger. I will give you power beyond your imagination. And when the world above speaks of you, they won't whisper about nameless assassins lurking in caves. They will tremble at the name of the umbral race. Silence grips the cavern. Then, a single voice murmurs, almost in awe, "We will be feared." Zyra steps forward, her sharp gaze scanning the crowd. You doubt him? Fine. Then I ask you, have I ever led you wrong? The one who spoke earlier exhales deeply. His fingers twitch at his sides before, slowly, he kneels. If you trust him, Chief, then I will too. One by one, more umbral kneel, the weight of their decision settling in. And then, as if a dam has broken, the entire tribe follows. Hundreds of voices speak as one. We pledge ourselves to His Majesty. Zyra smirks, glancing at Alex. Well, Your Majesty, she murmurs. I believe you've just gained an army of assassins. Alex watches the kneeling umbral with a satisfied expression. This is a good gain, loyal, disciplined, and deadly assassins. But a question lingers in his mind. He turns to Zyra. Tell me, why did your people choose to live here rather than on the surface? Zyra exhales, folding her arms. Your Majesty, to tell you the truth, we don't really know. Since the moment I was born, we were already here, deep underground. Our elders never spoke of a time when we lived on the surface. It's as if our history before this place was erased. Alex narrows his eyes. And no one ever tried to leave? We did. Every 3 months the entrance to the surface will open, Zyra says, exchanging a glance with Grell and Tarvin. The 3 of us once attempted to reach the surface. We barely made it before we were attacked, without warning, without reason. Those called humans slaughtered those who tried to go to the surface. Her voice hardens. We realized then that the surface was not a place that welcomed our kind. Alex hums in thought. Typical. Anything unknown or different, and humans immediately react with violence. He shifts his gaze toward the vast cavern. This place is massive. Are you the only ones living here? Zyra shakes her head. No, there are at least 3 other races that call this place home, as far as I know. Alex raises a brow. And what are they? Zyra's expression turns grim. I wouldn't recommend going after them, Your Majesty. Alex smirks. Oh? And why not? Each of those races is led by a Tier 6 being, Zyra explains. The only reason the Umbral have survived here for so long is because of the Tier 6 defensive spell guarding our home's entrance. Without it, we would have been wiped out a long time ago. Alex tilts his head, considering her words. He could easily subdue a Tier 6 entity if needed, but it would be unnecessary. The lowest consumable item he owns is Tier 8 and above, overkill for dealing with mere Tier 6 threats. After all, in his past life he was max level in the game. He only kept low-level skills, weapons, and armor to sell for real-world money. Still, there's no need to waste resources recklessly. He chuckles. I do want to swallow them all, he admits. But you're right. No need to cause unnecessary trouble. Zyra watches him carefully, her expression unreadable. I don't doubt your strength, Your Majesty, but those 3 aren't to be underestimated. If you plan to expand into this underground realm, you'll need to be cautious. Alex simply smiles. Caution is a given. But tell me, Zyra, do you know anything about those Tier 6 beings? Zyra's expression darkens. As far as I know, those Tier 6 powerhouses are trapped within their own domains. For some unknown reason, they can't leave their territories. Alex's interest peaks. They can't leave. He strokes his chin. He thought, that is interesting. I'll have to look into that when I unlock more of my levels. Alex smirks. Noted. Then he shifts his focus back to the gathered Umbral. Enough talk for now. We need to move. Alex continued. The entrance to the surface is open now, isn't it? We should go before it closes. Otherwise, we'll be stuck here for another 3 months. A flicker of realization crosses Zyra's face, followed by urgency. You're right. The gateway doesn't stay open for long. If we miss this chance, we'll have no choice but to wait. Chapter 99. They arrive at Noctaris City. A flicker of realization crosses Zyra's face, followed by urgency. You're right. The gateway doesn't stay open for long. If we miss this chance, we'll have no choice but to wait. She looks back at her people and raises her voice. Everyone, prepare to move out. Those who wish to follow His Majesty, gather what you need. We leave now. The entire cavern stirs with activity. Assassins vanish into the shadows, retrieving weapons, supplies, and essentials. Within moments, the entire tribe is mobilizing. As the Umbral swiftly prepare to move, Grick steps beside Alex, his expression one of deep respect. Your Majesty, congratulations on gaining another powerful race for the kingdom, he says. Burko nods in agreement, a grin on his face. Indeed, the Umbral are assassins born and trained in the shadows. With them, our forces grow even stronger. Alex acknowledges their words with a small smirk. They'll be useful. With everything ready, they make their way toward the entrance. The towering stone walls that once had beasts crawling over them are now eerily silent, empty. Zyra glances around, her brows furrowing. Good timing. The beasts that swarm the exit are now gone. Alex doesn't take chances. With a casual motion, he activates an item from his inventory. A faint pulse of energy spreads outward, and in an instant, 1,000 Umbral, including himself and his group, are cloaked in invisibility. The surface is just ahead, Alex says. Move silently. The group advances, their footsteps making no sound. When they emerge into the surface world, the sun is still high in the sky, casting long shadows over the landscape. A few adventurers are scattered around, picking through the remains of a dead beast. One of them suddenly shivers and rubs his arms. Hey, why did it suddenly get cold? Another looks up from looting the corpse, frowning. The sun is still out. You feeling sick or something? Nah. It's weird. Like something just passed by us. The adventurer scans the area, unease creeping into his voice. But all he sees is an empty landscape. Alex and the Umbral slip past them unseen. As they travel, the Umbral remain silent, their movements precise and disciplined. The surface world is vast and open, a stark contrast to the underground realm they have known all their lives. Many of them glance around warily, their instincts sharpened by years of survival in the shadows. Zyra walks beside Alex, her sharp eyes scanning the horizon. Your Majesty, where exactly are we heading? Alex smirks. To my capital city. At his words, curiosity flickers in Zyra's gaze, but she remains quiet. The journey is swift. When they arrive at Noctara City, a stunned silence falls over the Umbral. Eyes widen in disbelief. Some even stop in their tracks, heads tilting up to take in the impossible sight before them. Floating islands hover high above, small fragments of land suspended in the air, defying gravity. But what truly takes their breath away are the 5 colossal floating islands near the palace. The city itself is grand beyond their imagination. Towering buildings of elegant architecture stretch across the vast landscape. Even the most ordinary homes in the residential areas looks luxurious. Streets are wide, paved with smooth stone, and the entire city radiates an air of quiet, untamed majesty. Grell mutters under his breath. This is a kingdom? Tarvin exhales sharply. No, this is something more. Zyra stands frozen for a moment before turning to Alex. Your Majesty, this place, it's empty. Alex nods. For now. Indeed, aside from them, the entire city is devoid of life. Only a handful of strange creatures wander the streets. Monsters with elegant forms, unlike anything the Umbral have ever encountered. One Umbral whispers, "What are those things?" "They are a different monster race, just like you all," Alex says casually, watching as the strange creatures move gracefully through the city. Zyra's eyes narrow slightly, and she turns to face him. "So, we are called monsters?" Her tone isn't angry, but there's a sharp edge to it. Alex glances at her, then shrugs. By human standards? Yes. Anything that isn't them, anything they can't control, they label a monster. It doesn't matter if you have intelligence, culture, or emotions. To them, you'll always be something to be feared or destroyed. Zyra crosses her arms, exhaling through her nose. Humph. She glances at her people, who are still cautiously observing their new surroundings. But this place, it's more than we ever imagined. No one has ever offered us a home before. Alex meets her gaze. Then start getting used to it. He steps forward, looking over the gathered Umbral. Zyra, you should settle your people. Pick any district you see fit. Zyra nods, determination flashing in her crimson eyes. Understood, Your Majesty. She turns to her people, already issuing silent commands through subtle gestures. Alex then looks to Burko. You can pick any house in the residential area. Treat it as your new home. If you need anything, you'll find resources in the city's storage. And he pauses slightly before continuing. You can visit your tribesmate in the house of General Varkas. Just wait in your new home, and Varkas will come to you with the 2 children. Burko's eyes widen slightly at the mention of the children. He bows deeply, a display of gratitude. I understand, Your Majesty. Thank you. Alex nods once before turning to Grell and Tarvin. You too, come with me. Without another word, he starts walking toward the palace. The two assassins exchange glances before silently falling in step behind him. As they move through the city, the towering structures and floating islands loom above them like silent sentinels. Tarvin can't help but glance around in awe. This place is unreal. It's too perfect. Too vast. Grell, ever the skeptic, frowns. Yet it's empty. A city like this should be brimming with life. What happened here? Alex doesn't stop walking as he responds, his tone casual. It's waiting. Tarvin raises a brow. For what? Alex smirks. For me to fill it. Neither Grell nor Tarvin responds, but a chill runs down their spines. Something tells them that under Alex's rule, Noctara City will not remain empty for long. Chapter 100, Resurrection of the Officials, Part 1. They arrive inside a chamber that resembles a miniature throne room. Its design dark and elegant, with intricate patterns carved into the obsidian walls. Shadows cling unnaturally to the edges of the room, giving it a foreboding yet commanding presence. Before Grell and Tarvin can take in more details, the air shifts. A sudden, suffocating stillness fills the room. Then Valeth materializes. It is not a slow emergence but an almost unnatural transition, as if he was always there, hidden between the layers of reality itself. His form solidifies, his pitch-black armor gleaming under the dim light, and his piercing gaze settles on them. A chill grips both assassins. Even as Tier 5 warriors, trained to sense the faintest disturbances, they hadn't noticed him until he was fully present. That realization alone sends an uneasy shiver down their spines. This guy is very dangerous. Alex steps forward, his voice even. This is Valeth, the one in command of the shadows right now. He looks at Grell and Tarvin, his expression unreadable. Although both of you are also Tier 5, you need to earn your place in the shadows. You too, along with all the Umbral assassins, will listen to Valeth. There is no hesitation. Both assassins kneel slightly, placing a fist over their chests. As you wish, Your Majesty, they say in unison. Alex turns his gaze to Valeth. I'll leave them to you. Valeth steps forward, his voice smooth yet carrying an undeniable weight. Understood, Your Majesty. His cold, calculating eyes flicker to the two assassins. Grell and Tarvin say nothing, but their muscles tense. They had a feeling their real test was only just beginning. Alex teleports into his working chamber, the air shifting subtly as he appears. The room is vast yet minimalistic, designed for efficiency rather than decoration. Large windows overlook the floating islands, giving him a clear view of the whole city. He wastes no time. With a thought, his status screen materializes before him, the transparent blue interface displaying critical information. Kingdom population, 337,924. A small smirk forms on his lips. Good. After the successful conquest of Dalan City, the hesitation among the monsters in the surrounding forests had finally disappeared. Many had made their choice, settling in Mizorn or Dalan City, strengthening his kingdom's foundation. Alex leans back slightly, arms crossed. At 500,000, I'll finally unlock my level to 500. After that, Alex turns his attention to the reports stacked neatly on his desk. With a wave of his hand, the documents arrange themselves before him, and he begins reading through them one by one. The past few days have been eventful. Both Mizorn and Dalan City are developing at an impressive rate. The influx of new residents has stabilized, and infrastructure is expanding to accommodate the growing population. One report catches his eye. Military status update. Currently, 20,000 monsters have joined the army. Under General Soren's command, the total number of soldiers has reached 30,000. They are all practicing the finger of the death god technique, though they still can't manage to materialize the actual manifestation yet. Alex nods slightly. Expected. It's a special skill after all. But once they do succeed, He trails off, his mind already envisioning the sheer destructive force his army will wield. His gaze shifts to another report, one marked with a shadow insignia. He opens it and scans the contents. A prince of the Ralthian kingdom recently visited Dalan City, disguised as a merchant. Since Dalan City allows human merchants to trade freely, he was able to blend in without issue. Our spies tailed him and confirmed that he was merely observing. He wanted to see if humans were thriving under monster rule. Commander Soren, after assessing the situation, allowed him to move freely without interference. Alex sets the report down, tapping his fingers against the desk. A Ralthian prince, huh? The next report, however, is far more interesting. Despite the death of Marshal Draven, the three human kingdoms have yet to take action. The most surprising is the silence from Valgro's kingdom, considering Draven was one of their high-ranking marshals. Alex's eyes narrow slightly. Strange. No retaliation. No immediate response. He expected at least some form of reaction, whether a diplomatic inquiry, a show of force, or even a subtle probe. Yet, nothing. Alex leans back, deep in thought. They either doesn't care, or they were afraid of something. A faint chuckle escapes him. Interesting. Let's see how long they stay quiet. Closing the reports, he rests his chin on his hand, his mind already working through his next moves. Alex closes his eyes for a moment, sending a mental call to Drea. Instantly, he feels the link between them activate. Come to my chamber. Within seconds, he senses her presence moving swiftly through the palace. Drea is efficient, always where he needs her, handling tasks before he even gives the order. She is the head maid, but Alex makes her do far more than just managing the palace staff. As he waits, he leans back in his chair,